Hello. Okay. Knew I had to make a class for when life is feeling a little crazy. Like whatever it is that's going on in your life. I wanted to make a class that helps bring you back to center, that helps ground you into the moment, that helps you breathe a little bit deeper. I don't know if there's something in the air. It just seems like everyone's got some really weird, crazy, heavy stuff going on. And even if you don't and life is good, this class will just bring you home, which is a beautiful place, right? So let's get started in a comfortable seat. And I'm going to go ahead and turn to the side here. And I want you to place one hand on the chest, one hand on the belly. And I want you to just take a really deep breath in, filling the lungs, filling the belly. Take in a little bit more air. And then sigh it out. Do that again. Big breath in, filling the belly, filling the chest, your whole upper body just expanding. And then open the mouth, sigh that breath out. All right, one more time together. Big, full breath in. Lengthen the spine, expand the chest, expand the belly. Take in a little bit more. Open the mouth, let it go. Beautiful. Bring the hands to the tops of the knees. We're going to flow through some seated cat and cow. So pull the shoulders onto the back, lift the heart. I'm going to go ahead and keep my eyes closed because that just feels really good, but you can have a nice soft gaze if that feels better. And then come into cat, round the back, tuck the chin, and then pull forward. And go back. And one more time. Take a full breath in this time. And exhale into cat. Beautiful. We're going to come into a seated twist. So we're going to cross that left hand over the body to the right knee, twist to the right. Keep the spine nice and long. Come back to center, twist to the left. And then come back to center. We're going to come into eagle arms. So we're going to stack the right elbow on top of the left and then wrap the hands around. If not, doesn't feel very good, or if it's not accessible for you, you can bring the backs of the hands together or just like reach for opposite shoulders, like giving yourself a hug. On your inhale, we're going to lift the elbows up, find a baby back bend, and then come back to center. We'll do that 2 more times with the breath. Inhale, lift up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Then exhale down. Twist the arms, bring them all the way to the back. Interlace the fingers behind the back. And then squeeze the shoulders together, lift the heart. So again, if this is a little bit too deep for your shoulders, you can just bring the hands to the low back. And then imagine you're pulling those elbows together the best you can, all right? And then we're going to come into eagle on the other side. So this time the left elbow stacks on top of the right. Come into a variation that feels good for you. As you inhale, lift the elbows up, find that baby back bend. And we're just flowing with our breath. So lower back down. Inhale lifts you up. And exhale, bring it down. Inhale up. Then exhale down. Release the hands, bring them behind the back again. Interlace them or place your palms on the low back. And just find a little heart opener. You know, for me, when I am stressed or upset or feeling anxious, I tend to hunch my shoulders forward, poor posture, kind of like hunching in. And so this is really good for countering that, to just open the heart a little bit. Maybe you shimmy the shoulders from side to side. And again, just take a big breath. Even if all you do is breathe deep during this practice, that alone will work wonders. Go ahead and find your way onto your hands and your knees. We're going to thread the needle. So we're going to take that right arm, sweep it all the way up to the sky. And as you exhale, sweep it all the way down under the left. So coming onto the shoulder, letting the head rest onto the mat. And now with this left hand, you can either just leave it placed here. I know some people like to stretch it straight ahead. Maybe you just kind of let it relax. Whatever you're vibing today, go ahead and find that position. I want this twist to be more about grounding and comfort than about pushing your limits and going as deep as you can. Take one more breath here. I'm going to come back up through center. Go ahead, sweep that right arm back up to the sky. Hold it here. We're going to come into a little bit of a balance. So we're going to come onto the left hand and the left knee into a modified side plank. The right arm is reaching up towards the sky. The right foot is rooted down on the mat. Now, if you'd like to take it a little further, you can lift that right leg up. This is going to be a little bit more of a balancing challenge. So no need to do this. If you'd like to stay grounded here, just reaching up, you are welcome to stay there. Your last option, if you want to go a little deeper, is coming into a half bow variation. So reaching for that right ankle, kicking into the arm. Again, totally optional. Take one more breath. We're going to release the leg if you have it. If it's lifted, lower it down. Beautiful. We're going to meet back into tabletop, but we're going to keep that right leg lifted back. All right, if it's down on the mat, go ahead, lift it up. We're going to flip the left toes, coming into a three-legged dog. So this is a little bit of a funky transition, so do your best here. Root through the hands, flip the left toes, and then lift back, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, open the hip. Maybe you want to do some knee circles. Let that left heel sink a little bit closer to the mat. Maybe you roll the ankle. We're going to come through center and step that left foot all the way to the outside edge. So we're coming into lizard pose. We're going to lower the back knee down, flip the back toes. And you might like to use a block here. You have the option to stay exactly as you are right here, so on straight arms. If you'd like to go a little bit deeper into the stretch, you can come down onto your block or even bring your forearms all the way down to the mat. One other way to go a little deeper in this stretch is to roll to the outer blade of that front foot, letting the knee open out to the side. This is a really deep and intense stretch for the hips. And the hips is a part of the body that we can hold a lot of tension and tightness. And holding deep poses like lizard give us that space to open, to release, to feel. Sometimes we even have like emotional releases and poses like this. And if you feel on edge, if you feel like that might be happening, I invite you to lean into it, to feel it, to yell and scream, maybe into a pillow if you have one handy, to cry, to let it out. A lot of times when uncomfortable and hard feelings and emotions come up, we try to just put on this like suit of armor and just be strong and like, I'm okay, I got it, everything is fine. When really not everything is fine. When really we are hurting. And so I want to give you full permission to feel whatever you need to feel. We'll be here for a couple more breaths. Beautiful. Come back up to straight arms. We're going to come into a little bit of a different variation of half split. So we're going to slowly straighten that front leg. It's going to be out to the side a little bit. So normally we're used to like one hand on each side, but this time both hands will stay on the inside. Press up to the knee so the hips are kind of stacked right on top of that knee, and then fold forward here. Again, it might be nice to have those blocks in your hand if you need like a little extra lift. Do what you need here. Breathe a little bit deeper. I want you to like really feel like, see if you can bring in like 5% more air on each inhale. Yeah, there you go. That's perfect. Take one last breath. We're going to meet back in tabletop. So go ahead and kind of swing that right leg back. Maybe shake the hips out a little bit. Very good. Go ahead and sweep that left arm up to the sky. Thread the needle on the left. So go ahead, sweep that left arm down, resting the shoulder and the head on the mat. And with that right hand, finding whatever position feels like natural for you. Don't force it. This is more about feeling good in the body, feeling comfortable, while still giving our bodies, our physical bodies, that like gentle stretch, but giving our mind that gift of rest. Giving our brain a break from the chaos. Can you breathe deeper here? Take one more deep breath. And we'll sweep back up. Sweep the left arm up to the sky. And then we'll come into that balance. So shifting the weight onto the right hand and the right knee. Modified plank. Staying here if you'd like, or you can try lifting that top leg up. And maybe you'd like to go even deeper, coming into that half bow variation. So grabbing the ankle, kicking into the arm. Wherever you are, I want you just breathing, moving slow and mindfully. This is absolutely not a competition, and any pose is powerful here. As long as it's the pose that works for you. Very good. We're going to just come out the way that we came. So if you're grabbing onto the foot, release it. If it's lifted, lower it down. And we'll meet back in a kind of tabletop. Remember, we're going to keep that left leg lifted back. And if it's down on the mat, go ahead, lift it up. We're going to curl the right toes. We're going to meet in that three-legged downward dog. So get there any way that works for you. If you want to try, like, this is a little bit of a tricky transition. Sweep the left leg back and then bend the knee, open the hip. And so you have a couple breaths here to find some movement that feels good, or maybe stillness feels good. So if you want to do some circles with the knee, maybe you want to roll the ankle. I know I really like doing that. That right heel presses down towards the mat. And then we'll come through center to lizard pose on the left. So giant step forward. Lower that right knee down. And now your foot is going to be like to the edge of the mat, or maybe like mine's kind of like half on, half off. And again, your options are to stay on straight arms. Use a block to give you a little extra lift if you want to come down to your forearms. Or if you have the space, coming all the way down to the forearms. You can also roll to the outer blade of the front foot, letting the knee open. And then settling in. I encourage you to soften. And you can do this by noticing if there are parts of the body that you are tensing, parts of the body that are kind of resisting this pose. That's very normal. Maybe it's the hips, but maybe it's the hands or the jaw, or maybe your tongue is like stuck to the roof of your mouth. See if you can relax it away. See if you can just soften a little bit more in your physical body. And see if you can breathe and go a little bit deeper into your breath. Let this be the deepest breath you've taken all day long. There we go, slow and steady. I think the reason that so many of us find this practice so beneficial beyond the poses is the safety and the space that we are giving ourselves when we show up on our mat. Knowing that it's safe for us to show up exactly as we are. And it's safe for us to feel physically and emotionally uncomfortable things on our yoga mat. Like, is this a comfortable position? No, not really. And that's okay. And that's what we practice here. And that physical sensation starts to blend in with our emotional experience of life. So when it does feel like everything is falling apart, or you are just feeling so stuck or so broken or so defeated, or whatever you're experiencing, we know because we practice that it's okay, that our feelings, just like the stretching sensations, are temporary. They are part of this human experience. And the only way to truly let them go is to flow through them, to flow through them. So let yourself flow and feel whatever you need to feel in this crazy moment. Take a couple more breaths. And slowly make your way up. We'll come into that half split variation. Move slow, you guys, because that can feel a little intense. So the left foot is going to be kind of off to the side. Both hands are going to be on the inside of the thigh. And then you fold forward from here. And I want you to go to a level of depth in this pose that feels good for you. So maybe that means using blocks, really supporting yourself here. Maybe that means really folding in deep, creating some more space in your physical body. Take a couple more breaths. Beautiful. We're going to shift forward and then just meet in a tabletop. And then if you have a block, go ahead and grab it. If you don't have one, you can use a pillow or a blanket, kind of fold it up a couple times, just anything to kind of give your hips a little lift. And we're going to come into supported bridge to end this practice. And so you'll find your way onto your back. And then go ahead, lift the hips, and then place either your block or your folded blanket or your pillow. Feet are flat onto the mat. And like we did in the beginning, I want you to just take a nice deep breath in. Open the mouth, sigh it out. Like an audible sigh. We're going to do that a couple more times. Take a big breath in. Fill the belly, fill the lungs, and then open the mouth, sigh it out. One more time together. Big breath in. Open the mouth, sigh it out. And then close the eyes. And relax every muscle in the body. And sometimes when life is feeling extra heavy, if you're feeling extra stress or anxiety, we can get a very narrow focus on life. It seems like nothing is working. It seems like nothing is working out. It seems like everything is broken. Everything is going wrong. And it's just a negative feedback cycle further and further and further. So as we end, I want to share with you one of my favorite practices where when it feels like everything is going wrong or everything is kind of bad, I take a moment to just say, well, what is kind of cool right now? Like, what is going good right now? What is a win that I can celebrate, as teeny as it needs to be? So I want you to think about that as we end. What's going good? What's something you can celebrate? I'll start. You can celebrate by being proud of yourself for showing up on your mat today, even though it was probably hard and you probably didn't really want to. So yay, that's one for both of us. Take a moment and think of a couple other things that you can celebrate. Very slowly lift the hips and move your block or your blanket off to the side and rock your way up to a seat. Now bear with me because it's cheesy, but it works. But I want you to give yourself a hug, all right? 'Cause I can't be there to give you a hug right now, but we all need them. So wrap your arms around yourself. Squeeze and feel your fingertips squeeze into your body. Feel your palms and your arms. Maybe you shake a little bit side to side and you put a little smile on your face. I love you. You are doing amazing things. And I can't wait to see you again on your mat. Namaste.